When we think Pinhead, we always think the greatest cut and pinned Cenobite, catching and torturing souls at will. But today, we're here to remind you of an artifact that imprisoned this seemingly invincible Cenobite for years, the Pillar of Souls. The Pillar of Souls has had quite a few appearances in the Hellraiser movies. Still, in Hellraiser Part 3, Hell on Earth, it truly took the wheel by bonding Pinhead within it while also preserving his Cenobite essence so that one day he may rise to continue Hell's work. The Pillar has a built-in duality of bondage and salvation, like all of Leviathan's realm. The tale of Pinhead coming to strength from the Pillar is bloody carnage. But what is Hellraiser without the shocking savagery, right? So without further ado, let us get into the role of Pillar of Souls, especially its feat of holding Hell's best captive while also simultaneously saving him. But quickly, before we get into it, do us a solid. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. Let's go. What is the Pillar of Souls? The Pillar of Souls is a means of torture that Cenobites used. It can suck the souls of the humans deemed worthy of becoming Cenobites, the sadistic agents of a hellish dimension. The Pillar was most famously seen in Hellraiser Part 3, Hell on Earth, as a prison for Pinhead, whose weakened soul was stuck within him. It first appeared in Hellbound Hellraiser 2 at the Channard Institute. Around this rotating pillar, the Cenobites are killed by the newly converted and ultra-powerful Cenobite Channard, and their bodies turn into their old human selves. The appearance of the Pillar of Souls changes completely from Hellraiser 2 to Part 3, where this artifact forms the primary plot device. In the earlier movie, the Pillar of Souls is shown as a 10-foot-tall rotating wooden post set with nails, hooks, and chains, and also bits and pieces of humans that had previously been tortured there. In Hellraiser Part 3, though, the pillar is a sculpted blue-greenish artifact with figurines of humans undergoing torture and demons taking pleasure in it bulging out of it. From one side of the pillar, a familiar face protrudes. It is Pinhead, the notorious leader of the Cenobites, who has been entrapped within it for years. A puzzle box is also inlaid within the pillar, and just from its appearance alone, there is no doubt about this thing being an instrument of hell. Pinhead's entrapment in the Pillar of Souls. In Hellraiser 2, Dr. Channard, who has turned into a Cenobite, kills Pinhead and the other Cenobites near the Pillar of Souls. The pillar consumes Pinhead's dark soul, and he becomes sculpted within it. The Pillar of Souls then comes into the keep of an Eremite. An Eremite, or in this case, the Guardian of the Lament configuration, appears in the form of a scruffy guy who owns a macabre art gallery. For those who might be a little perplexed by this random, unwashed dude just appearing out of nowhere to sell off the pillar, let me tell you, he is more than meets the eye. The Guardian is a demon of hell in human form, who locates people with deep-seated lust and desire, coupled with a generally unscrupulous character. Thereafter, he finds a way to entice them and pass on the puzzle boxes that split open the doors to hell to them. The Eremite is skulking around the art gallery when his newest customer comes through, and he sells the pillar inlaid with the Lament configuration, and of course, Pinhead himself, to the unsuspecting guy. The pillar goes into the possession of J.P. Monroe, the owner of a hot club called the Boiler Room, with a history of murder and heinous greed, a perfect candidate for the Eremite to pass on hell's effects to. It promptly hooks a blonde J.P. has brought home, and Pinhead's face consumes her whole. Pinhead becomes stronger after the meal and strikes a deal with J.P. In return for J.P. giving him more people to feed on, gain strength, and bust out of the pillar, Pinhead would give him a path to unreal power and pleasures he has never imagined, an age-old Pinhead promise that he has been sketchy at best at delivering. J.P. isn't exactly championing his charge though, as later, when he tries to feed Pinhead his ex Terry knocks him out cold, and Pinhead is forced to switch teams. He now coaxes Terry into the same deal he had made with JP, except he wants to feed on JP this time. Terry agrees and gets JP to him. Pinhead devours him and is strengthened further with his life energy. Pinhead emerges from the pillar fully formed and free, while the pillar explodes with a bright flash. Aside from the Pillar of Souls, Hellraiser Part 3 also shows Pinhead in his humanity as Captain Spencer. His history and how he became a Cenobite are both explored in this film. After Channard had killed Pinhead, Spencer's ghost escaped Hell's curse. He remembered his goodness and endured in another dimension, but the unforgiving, deviant part of him, which was Pinhead's soul, had become trapped within the Pillar of Souls. This was until JP bought the pillar and his blood spattered onto it by chance from a cut on his hand. The blood awakened Pinhead, and once he fed on all those people and gained his full strength, it was complete mayhem. He went to JP's club, the Boiler Room, and killed clubbers indiscriminately and brutally, probably letting out his frustration on being deprived of conducting tortures for so long. So the Pillar of Souls was a construct of hell that rested in the protective custody of the Guardian of the Lament configuration till he found the right guy. The Guardian did his job to the T, and Pinhead reincarnated his deathly Cenobite self just as he was in the glory days. Of course, Pinhead does not succeed in taking Joey, the main protagonist of Hellraiser 3, who's running around with a Lament configuration, back to hell with him. But he is allowed to be a tad rusty after those long years in a stiff cryo mode, right?
You are at the door to dreams, Terry.
Marvelous verdict. The Pillar of Souls drove the story of Hellraiser Part 3, Hell on Earth, as a bondage of sorts for Pinhead, but it also appears to be a way for Leviathan to preserve his favorite child on Earth. Pinhead resided within it, dormant, alongside the puzzle box. The pillar helped him until he had his strength, and then it vanished back to hell, I presume. Well, it's good to know that there's just one more way in which Pinhead can never die. Anyway, good people, that's everything on the Pillar of Souls. Do let us know what else you'd like us to cover from the Hellraiser world. Your comments are ever our inspiration. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Be safe now.